Hello everyone, welcome back to a Born Again Original. It's been a while since I've made an original video. Um, I gotta think of topics to talk about. I have to be interested in what I'm talking about to be able to make a video on it, you know what I mean? So it's just a matter of me seeing things, seeing interviews that catch my eye. And this happened to be one of them. There's gonna be more and more talk about Nephilim spirits in the end times, about demonic spirits in the end times. The Nephilim are something that I didn't even know about until about 5 years ago. It's not taught in Christian. Um, it's not taught in Christian schools very often. The fallen angels came when they fell to earth. There was some called the Watchers who ended up taking human wives, and they had an offspring called the Nephilim, and their spirits were or their bodies were killed off in the flood, and their spirits remained, right? So they are what we know as demonic spirits. This interview really caught my eye because they mention the Nephilim. They mention if maybe it's the Nephilim running things, or maybe they're not entirely human. I just wanted to talk about it, so we're just going to watch this interview together and just uh, dissect it. Here we go.
Lying sake, and that it's not political and it's theological. Is it within the realm of possibility that this movement that we're fighting now is actually satanic?
What do you mean in the realm of possibility?
Well, exactly.
Yeah.
I mean, because there's no other explanation.
No, it's the definition.
Something I want to add is I don't know if Roseanne Barr or Tucker Carlson are Christians. Well, maybe Tucker Carlson is. But there's always a possibility that when these people are talking about things that they are playing the light side of Freemasonry. They're revealing the truth to benefit their own organization, to lead people away from Christ, essentially.
Or it's infiltration
It is the
to
definition.
destroy
Of course,
the narrative.
because it's not, look,
Or both.
what's not satanic is like the Sicilian mafia.
Right.
You know, they pimp out women, they loan shark, they sell heroin, but they do it because they want to get a bigger house in Far Rockaway. I get it.
It's money. It
It's
makes
money.
sense.
It's totally.
Yeah.
It's a commercial transaction. It hurts people. It's bad. It's illegal, but it's explicable.
Right.
I understand that.
Yes.
You know, what we're seeing now is not explicable. Mm-hmm. It's not. Why would a billionaire do? You know, you have $1 billion. You can't spend it all.
Right.
It's much deeper than that.
Right.
And why would you hate things that are true?
You know, the people that are of the devil, Satan, he hates the truth because the truth is about him. Is Satan's going to hell. He's going to burn forever. He only has a certain amount of time. The demons know that too. That's why they hate the truth. That's why they, anytime we talk about it, anytime you expose their plans or anything, they hate it. But at the same time, they love half-truths. They love to lie and hide what they're giving you in just veiled words. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's a form of witchcraft they use.
Don't affect you.
Right.
You can't stand to hear something that's just objectively true.
Which means
What is that?
you're evil.
The hatred of truth is the hallmark of darkness.
Yes,
obviously.
it is absolutely. Well, because because I think it's a very dark system that was
Yes.
created over I don't know how many centuries, but I think it goes back to really dark times, and it's never disappeared. It's like they've been building and building for a really long
Well,
time.
you do see. I was thinking about this yesterday. I flew from Europe yesterday, so of course I had like 10 hours to read, which is usually bad. But I was thinking yesterday that there are certain periods in history where people become. I was thinking about the Spanish Civil War because I was following from Spain, but I was also thinking about the French Revolution. I was thinking about the destruction of the temple in 70 A.D. In Jerusalem.
Two temples.
Yeah, 2 temples, but that was the last one that was destroyed by the Romans.
Alright, so I'm going to say what he's getting into is he's talking about the spirit of Antichrist and how it's always been here. The spirit of Antichrist has always been here. I don't know if it's been inside of rulers that have maybe the Antichrist spirit thought that it was going to lead into the end times, like maybe Hitler had a spirit of the Antichrist. Maybe he was being set up to be the ruler of the end times world, and then God shut that down. Or who knows, right? Either way, the Antichrist spirit has always been here, and it's learning, right? It's learning from people's mistakes. It's learning from the world. It's learning what people will accept and will not accept. It's really interesting to see how the Antichrist will be the most deceitful person, because the spirit that is attached to him has been with every evil ruler since the beginning, right? Like, who knows how long the spirit of Antichrist has actually been here, right? Has it been here since the beginning when Christ was prophesied, right? Because the spirit of Antichrist was trying to stop Christ's birth, all that stuff. Anyway, here we go.
During the revolt, and there are these weird explosions of irrational hatred, rage, violence, where no one's actually winning. Like, they're killing for the sake of killing.
For the sake of killing.
Yes, and you see these throughout history, and like, what is that?
Yeah.
No one's actually benefiting from this. Killing people, making them suffer, humiliating them, torturing them, burning things down that you could steal, but you burn them anyway.
Yeah.
You saw this in our cities a couple of years ago. Like, what is that?
Terror.
But it's not rational. Like, a terrorist, like ETA, the Basque separatist group, like, they killed policemen so they could get a little closer to their goal, which was separating from Spain.
Makes sense.
I get it. It makes sense.
Right.
But murdering people just to murder them, burning their stuff when you could steal it, that's, again, a spiritual phenomenon.
Yes.
Well, to go on TikTok, it's like the Andy Warhol thing, 15 seconds of fame. I'm sure he said 15 minutes, but for the 15 seconds of TikTok fame.
Very interesting point made by Tucker Carlson. We see these points of just random, just murder and brutalization, and just the decimating of just populations throughout the course of a period of time. And I truly believe that can be taken back to the Antichrist spirit. Right?
That's what they're doing it for, a lot of them.
Yes, but they're like seized by some spirit of destructiveness.
Well, it's
like,
a demon spirit.
That's it. That's
demonic, absolutely.
always been here. It's and it emerges, and we lie to ourselves and imagine we've got it totally under control.
Yeah.
Everything can be explained rationally. That's why I hate this whole, they're in it for the money.
Yeah, no,
If you think that's all it's about, you're going to miss what's actually happening.
What it's really
Well,
about.
you both got fired when you had the #1 television shows. You guys were both racking money in. Well, I'm just bringing it up now because it's obviously not about the money. Because if it was about the money, both of you'd still have your jobs.
Well, that's a good point.
Yeah, that's what gets me.
They
'cause
don't like what you were saying and what you were doing, and it's something that said we had to take them off. Fuck it. Fuck our stockholders. We're going to do it anyway. That's weird.
Well, I overheard in my writer's room one of the writers who was, in the Democrat thing.
I never even think that about Biden voters. I think they're human beings. I think
Of course they are.
And I know some of them, and
Here, I'm going to try to find a clip where they actually explicitly talk about the Nephilim. So I'm just going to pause this. Alright guys, so I found a clip. Had to go to Facebook. I'm going to show you guys 2 clips that just they talk about the Nephilim. I've talked in my original videos, I talk about the Nephilim and how their demonic spirits are here and there. They need a body, they are essentially the reason for the religion that is reincarnation and New Age, okay? Because they live multiple lives. That is their religion. So, the Nephilim, I explained it at the beginning of the video. I gotta stop going on. Okay, here we go.
To believe it. Roseanne Barr and Tucker Carlson are considering the possibility that society is being run by the Nephilim. Yeah, check this clip out and be sure to watch to the end.
the people who run our society consider themselves gods, and that's why they're not explaining.
They think they're more than human.
Oh, obviously.
Yeah, they're not even human, because humans care about their environment and their neighbors, and humans care about, other people's children.
Of course.
And humans care about living things.
Yes.
But they don't do any of that, and he goes, they're more than human.
Oh, I noticed.
They
That's why
think
they want to
they're
live
royals.
forever.
They think they're like royals in a rarefied sphere of DNA or something above us.
Nephilim. They were wiped out by the flood. there was giants after the flood. These people that are running our world, you know, when King David went into all the lands and he wiped those tribes out and wiped out all the children, all the stock, all the men, because of their genetics, right? It was obviously because of genetics. It was not because God was just going in there and slaughtering people for no reason, like people like to make it seem. So they cleared the land of these giants and these Nephilim. The people who run our society today are those people who descend from the pharaohs, right? The pharaohs are going to be one of those dynasties they claim to descend from the Nephilim, right? There's going to be the Canaanites. There's going to be the Hittites, I believe. No, maybe I'm wrong about the Hittites. In the end, there's quite a few different Nephilim tribes that you can go and look in the Old Testament, that when Joshua and King David and they were conquering the land, right? Those tribes are the ones that are the royal families today. Those barbaric tribes, like Vlad the Impaler would be one of them that he descended from, and we know that King Charles has said he descends from Vlad the Impaler. Okay? So think about that. It's very interesting, isn't it? They believe the original descendants did actually come from genetic modification from aliens, which we would call fallen angels. Who knows if they physically had intercourse with these females, or if they just took them and stole them and used their bodies scientifically, okay? But that is it. I thought this was so interesting that they were even talking about this. This is mainstream media, okay? And now, because they're allowed to say this on the air, who knows if this is just soft disclosure for them for when they actually let the whole world know that they're descending from these gods, because the whole world is going to eventually believe that they descend from the gods as well. And that's how they're going to rope us in, you know? Anyway, here we go.
Like, did they come from another planet? When
I
you hear
can't
people
speculate on
talk,
that.
I can't either. But
This is the podcast to speculate on it, though.
well, because some
Feel free.
people say, a lot of religious people, they're into some deep rabbit holes of things, and I don't know anything.
Well, you can see why they are, though. I mean, so speaking for myself, I have no idea what's going on. I don't know if this is the Nephilim, right?
I was going to say,
I don't.
I know.
Here we go.
That's what I said.
Let me just say. I said I don't know
Right.
anything about that stuff, okay?
She
I'm a
does.
very ordinary middle-aged man who spent his life following politics and
Right.
theology. But I do know that whatever's going on is very deep.
Yeah.
I've spent my whole life around politicians and seen decisions get made, interviewed people who run things, and what's happening now is qualitatively different, so different that it's not in the same category at all.
No.
This is hurting people for the sake of hurting them. This is lying for the sake of lying. This is, as the devil
Power
hates
for the
holy
sake
water,
of-
they hate the truth. You tell the truth about anything, it almost doesn't matter what it's about. It doesn't have to be about the next election.
Right.
That's
It can
right.
just be about history, for example.
Right.
Telling the truth about history. Why should that offend
Oh,
anybody?
that really pisses
Periods
me
where
off.
everyone's dead. And we can't, of course, change the past, so there's nothing really at stake for us now, right? You would think people would welcome open-minded historical inquiry to get closer to what actually happened in whatever period or in whatever event. They hate that.
Yes, they
Well,
do.
what do you...
It's because they don't want us to learn from our mistakes. They want us to go back into slavery. Right? Okay, so I'm going to show one more clip that just talks about the Nephilim. Like, this stuff is real, and these people that are obviously closer to the truth, there's two options, okay? We have, if they are genuine, then they are in danger, okay? They're, like, why are they speaking about this so freely? Like, they're gonna get knocked off if this is not stuff they want out, correct? Now, we know Tucker Carlson and Roseanne Barr were insiders in the industry. Some people are allowed to get away from it to mislead. So we don't know if this stuff is just being allowed to get out there, okay? And option B is just they're genuine and they are, I don't know, kind of mixed up my words there. Either way, you get the idea. There's two options: either they're genuine or they aren't. I'm always skeptical because, you know, can't believe anything people say in the media unless it's from like smaller channels or people that have done their actual research. You never know.
Based on personal belief, based on a fair amount of evidence that they're not aliens. They've always been here, and I do think it's spiritual. That's my view.
So,
Again, it's not provable, but based on the evidence, I think
I'm with you.
Absolutely. I think if the U.S. government has in fact had direct contact with these beings, whatever they are, I've already told you what I think they are, and has entered into some sort of agreement with them, which is the claim of informed people, I would say, whether they're right or wrong, I can't say conclusively. But if that is true, I mean, it's a very, very, very heavy thing.
Yeah. A lot of people say interdimensional beings. Right, I want to ask, are angels and demons, or how would you describe these beings?
You know, these are, again, I'm getting into the realm of conjecture, so I just want to say that flat out.
Entity?
But one thing I know for a dead certain fact, having seen it, is that there is good and evil, that we are being acted upon at all times. And I think every person can feel that in himself. I mean, there are moments when you are moved to do things that are much better than you actually are, and that are also more evil and destructive than you actually are. You are subject to forces from outside yourself. That is absolutely true. Now, we can argue about what they are, but every person in the room, if he's reflective, will tell you, yes, I...
Anyway, Nephilim, he's talking about it, man. This stuff is no joke. Maybe to cap this off, I'll just go in and explain to those people who have not seen my past videos about what the Nephilim really are and their proof in history and all that. And anyway, here we go. Alright, here we go. Now, this is just kind of like, I don't know if it's off topic really, but the mysterious mall incident, a lot of people are saying it was a hoax. I think that because, you know, all the pedophile stuff came out, it was probably a distraction from that, but also they're preparing people to, like, for real life scenarios. Like, you see that stuff in movies, man, where people are showing up, a bunch of cops are showing up, they're fighting a mysterious being, people don't know what it is, they try to cover it up. That is straight out of a movie. I feel like they're just trying to do that in America right now and just try to, like, brainwash people into thinking that, like, just thinking something. I know that if you guys have ever seen, what's it called? Project Bluebeam. They're saying it was black shadows, and that they had set up a machine shortly beforehand. Like, that's obviously Bluebeam. Like, nobody got injured from the shadows, right? Like, no cars went flying, nothing happened. So I don't understand, like, what their deal was with that, other than to try to distract, or even maybe it was just a riot, like people are actually saying. Anyway, into the Nephilim. The reason I brought that up is because in the end times, the Nephilim and the demonic spirits, they'll be able to show themselves a little bit more, right? So they could either be preparing for that, or it could have been Project Bluebeam. I'm not sure. Anyway, the Nephilim, they were human-angel hybrids. Canaanites. See what I mean? Like, I just said about the Canaanites. These people think they descended from them. Who wiped out the Anakites? The Anakites were another one that I was talking... Yes, absolutely. The Anakim were the ones that I was talking about that had connections to the Nephilim. So these people... Those are two bloodlines that possibly run the world today. Think about that, like... yeah, interesting stuff. Fossil remains of giants. Oh, wow. So anyway, they're basically saying the Nephilim run the world these days. They hate the truth. They want nothing to do with Jesus Christ. They want to lead us astray. And we know the Nephilim are demonic spirits that were wiped out. I'm not exactly sure how the giants came after the flood. That is a big one. Oops. Just read that if you can. Interpretations, giants, Septuagint. Fallen angels. I'm just going to show one more. The kind of, this is not a view that I believe, actually, the view of Seth and Cain. Okay, so I'm going to go to one more little bit of proof of them. Offspring of Orion. You know, the Orion is a star constellation. The angels are called stars in the Bible, right? So, offspring of the stars, offspring of the angels. Okay, anyway, I'm going to go to one more thing. Alright, guys, so the Tuatha De Danann. They seem to be like, they were possibly one of those Nephilim tribes that escaped to dwell in the other world. So this is going to be talking about demonic spirits. See? Fallen angels are inherently evil. That's why they fell. Or an ancient people who are highly skilled in magic. So an ancient people that would be highly skilled in magic would be gods over us, a ruling class over us, right? Like that's what they believe. Sometimes they're called the tribe of Dan. Right. Tuatha De Danann. And if you know anything about the tribe of Dan, they fell into paganism. So they could have easily been highly skilled in magic, just from falling into the religions of the giants, the Canaanites, the Hittites, or not, I don't know, like the Anakim, you know what I'm saying? So a lot of these bloodlines would actually be just regular human bloodlines. They would just puff themselves up to royalty, right? Anyway, that's just what I wanted to get into, was that they were a real, like, there's just proof of this all over. The Nephilim, the ruling class, they've always been there. They just hide themselves, and they change their names, and they hide their actual history. Because if we knew that they came from fallen angels, right, like, they're gonna find a way for people to accept that like, we will one day worship someone who's descended from a fallen angel. And the Antichrist, like, he's more than likely going to claim that lineage as well. So there's got to be a way. Anyway, thank you guys for watching, and I really appreciate you guys. Yeah, bye for now.